way NATO is doing in Ukraine. It's arming Ukraine and making sure that it tries to withstand, bombarding by Russia. So can the US stand for us in such a whatever, in such a situation? So let us have a few high-valued friends. Of course, even sports, we have people who we can, say, we don't need your money per se. Give us sports knowledge. You see. So we have this thing that we say Kenya should become a sport. We should enter the World Cup in the next 2 seasons. We should enter the World Cup. So look for a country that you can be able to, and not that you go begging there. We can even pay for them for the expertise. So let us look for money in tangible ways. Let's not go and look in tangible ways. Let us have things on the ground. Let's not be like these billionaires you see in our country, that someone is a billionaire, but when you ask what industry is he in, he doesn't produce anything, but he's a billionaire. So that is the kind of, I think, culture that we have built at a national scale. So let us have tangible products and things that the outside world can say yes.
Talking about tangible things, Paul, do you think that from the onset, or rather from the outlook of the president's efforts, in all these cooperation agreements Kenya is entering with countries, do you think that there are fruits that you can say, okay, fine, Kenya is advocating for this is what we are doing, we are going to X country, we are going to the S country to pick this and that, these are the results?
Well, if you look at the deals, the biggest question here is, for you to get into a deal, you must have thought out on is it of importance to my country or otherwise. That is the first point. The second thing is, do you really need it at that particular moment? And number 3, upon ratifying the document to signing those treaties, the next question is, who is to do the follow-up? Or is it a question whereby if there's a change of regime, then we treat them as bygones? Because again, the most serious question that comes in is, there are a lot of deals and treaties that have been signed in the successive regimes. But as far as there is no follow-up, then we stand to gain too little from some of those deals. So the question here again takes me back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the technocrats, some of the handlers, in terms of the ratification of these treaties, documentation, the paperwork bit of it, and then who is mandated to do the follow-up, and to what extent should we approve it as a success or a failure, and if which, then we go back to the strategic team and look at evaluation, whereby you sit back and monitor, say that, for example, we signed this deal, in this AGO agreement, for example, how did we gain? How do we stand to gain more if we renegotiate this deal? We go back and look at, for example, 60 Kenyan students to go and study in the US. Is this enough? Do we need more? And if so, do we have more or less of a clause within the deal whereby upon completing their studies, they have to come back home and serve their country within a certain duration? Or are we likely to face brain drain, whereby you come and capture some of our best minds, 60 of them, take them into the US, train them, after which they serve that economy, then they come back home upon retirement, just